Welcome to A Sip of Water, where a simple word from God quenches the thirst of a weary soul. Join teacher and preacher Mike Robinson as he opens the King James Bible to share timeless truths with a clear and humble heart. Whether you're starting your day or searching for strength, take just a sip and be refreshed in the Word. Now, here's Brother Mike.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Thursday. Excuse my voice this morning, a little rocky here. This is Thursday, July the 17th. Good morning, Brother Craig Peters. God bless you. Thank you for watching this morning. Brother Craig from down in Valdosta, Georgia. He's keeping Valdosta straight down there. You never hear about Valdosta in the news, so I guess Brother Craig's doing a good job of keeping them in line. We want to drop our bucket down into the deep, deep well of God's Word this morning and come back up with a cool, refreshing sip of water from the book of Ecclesiastes. We're going to be in chapter number 10 if you want to follow along in your Bibles, or if you have the Bible on your phone. We're going to be in Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and specifically verse number 1. When I was a young boy growing up in Powdersville, I really loved growing up in Powdersville. We didn't own the house we lived in. We rented, but that's all beside the fact. We lived in a place, that house had 16 acres of land with it. 16 acres is a lot of land. And it was mostly wooded land. There was some pasture land on it, but not very much. But our house sat close to the road. We were probably maybe 40 yards off of the Highway 81. And that 16 acres plus anything else around afforded this young boy plenty of exploration area. I mean, I was just gone from home all the time, out exploring the things I would find out in the woods and things that people had left from many years ago. I often would look and think, wonder what kind of story that old bed could tell. I found a house that looked like it hadn't been lived in probably 200 years. And I'd go inside that house and think, wonder what kind of stories this house could tell. There were actually letters laying all over the top floor. I mean, a two-story house, and there were actually letters all over in that bedroom upstairs that were Civil War era. Wish I'd have had the common sense or something back at that time when I was just a little tyke running around Powdersville exploring to save those letters and maybe try to find out if there were any family members alive that were related to the people that those letters were written to, and maybe something about the soldier that wrote them. I don't know, but there were just all kinds of letters laying on top of that second story bedroom. Sometimes in my roaming around Powdersville and my exploring the wide open world of Powdersville, I'd get hurt. Sometimes it was minor scratches. Sometimes I'd fall and get a bruise, and sometimes I'd fall and get a bruise and a scratch. On a few occasions, I got some pretty bad injuries, not life-threatening, but just slowed me down. My mom, just like all moms were back in that time, was the house doctor. Anytime you got hurt, you went to see the doctor, Dr. Mom. And so I would go see Dr. Mom, and Mom would take a good look at it and then just about kill me, tearing wounds apart, looking down inside it to see if there's trash or junk down in there that needs to be cleaned out. And I'm sitting there crying, bawling like a little baby because it hurts, Mama, it hurts. And she said, shut up, I'm trying to make it better. Oh, I wish I could go back to those days. That might sound weird, but I'd really love to go back and grow up as a kid again, but be able to know what I know now. Some of my wounds, Mom would look at and she would dress them up as best she could because we couldn't afford to go to the doctor every time our nose ran. So she would say, "You're going to have to take care of that. That's going to take a long time to heal." And that's what I want to talk to you about today. But I don't want to talk to you about a physical injury that happens to us where we maybe get a severe cut on our arm, legs, face, whatever, some kind of severe cut or gash or something like that, where we've had an accident, maybe have to go to the doctor and get a gazillion stitches. I want to talk to you about the kind of injury due to our testimony, to our testimony. And I want to talk to you about the kind of injury we do to Jesus Christ. If you're a born again child of the living God and you're knowingly living in sin, you're harming the name of Christ. Now, like our pastor said last night, you're not going to destroy Christ, but you're certainly going to destroy someone else's view of Christ to where they may or may not get saved because of your testimony. Some things we do to our testimony take a long time to heal. It just takes a long time to heal. And people have to see that we're genuine in our efforts to try to heal that testimony if they are around us enough time to see that. If we ruin our testimony in front of people that we rarely see, probably no hope. They're going to use that against Christ till the day they die. Well, I know a guy named Mike Robinson, and he claimed to be a Christian and went to church, and he taught Sunday school class, and he was a deacon in the church. But I remember one day he did this, or I remember one day he said that. Always something. So we have to be careful. We really have to be careful. If we're Christians, we have to be careful because people are watching. They're watching us to see what we do, and then they're going to use that as their proof that God's not real. If it was, they wouldn't have done that, and it's just all a game. So we have to be careful that we don't put a hindrance before someone that could actually affect whether or not they get saved. Ecclesiastes 10 verse 1 brings that point home really good. I want to read that to you. Dead flies cause the ointment of the apothecary to send forth a stinking savor. An apothecary was someone who made perfumes. They made things that smelled good. You know, we use perfumes and colognes and stuff like that today. A woman will get a perfume and put it on her somewhere, and a guy will get some cologne and put it on him, and it's all made by what you would call an apothecary, someone who makes pleasant smelling things. The Bible tells us here if a dead fly gets down into that perfume, that sweet smelling thing that the apothecary had made, it's going to make what's supposed to smell good smell really bad. And he goes on to say, he compares it to a person who is a Christian, well, not a Christian in that day, but someone who walks with God, who knows God, who recognizes God, who has a reputation of being a person who worships God. Dead flies cause the ointment of the apothecary to send forth a stinking savor. So doth a little folly, that's some sin that you've done, so doth a little folly him that is in reputation for wisdom and honor. So if we're children of God and we go to church every Sunday, and we try to get our neighbors around us to go to church every Sunday, and we try to live right and do right and all these kind of things that a Christian should do because people are watching, we can do just one little thing and all of a sudden we stink before them. Our testimony stinks. Our witness stinks. We used to have a pleasant aroma, a pleasant odor for Jesus Christ until we decided one day, well, I'm just going to do what I want to do. And then we sin. Maybe we don't want to stand up against somebody that's, I don't know, has a more powerful presence than we do. And so we let them talk us into doing something wrong. Whatever it is we do wrong, all of a sudden in our neighbor's eyes, we stink. And you know what? It's going to take a long time for that to heal. It's going to take a long time for that to heal. I really hope that if you're a Christian, if you're born again and you're watching this, I really hope that you will understand what your life can do to somebody else. You're not going to ruin Jesus Christ, and you're not going to ruin God, although it will give them a bad smell to the people who saw you do what you did. It's mostly going to ruin you. Be loving, be kind, consider the other person. Paul said, therefore, if eateth meat maketh my brother to offend, I will eat no meat while the world standeth. And he meant meat sacrificed to idols. He knew that that wasn't anything. There was nothing to it. There's no such thing as an idol. There's no real God. There's only one true God. And so you can eat whatever you want to. God's already told us that. But Paul is saying, if my actions are going to cause someone else to stumble and fall, or maybe keep them away from Jesus altogether, I won't do it. Now that's true Christian love right there. That is true Christian love in action. Won't you just consider your testimony and how others are going to think of Christ because of you? Because there are some things you do that can take a long time to heal. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you watching today. And my prayer is that you will share this video with someone. Let's get the gospel of Jesus Christ around the world. Thank you, and have a nice day.
That wraps up today's broadcast. From all of us here at BNC Ministries, thank you for spending this time with us. We're honored to be part of your day. If you've been encouraged, challenged, or simply want to learn more, be sure to visit us at any time at bncministries.com. You'll find more resources, messages, and updates to help you grow in faith. We also would love hearing from you. If you have questions, thoughts, or prayer requests, just send us an email at bncministries2020@gmail.com. We'd be glad to connect. Until next time, keep walking in faith, stay encouraged, and remember, you're never alone. God bless.